Well, the Washington Commanders have signed yet another talent to the defense. We're going to talk about that in today's podcast. Let's get started. And welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs channel. My name is Greg. I am your host. And this channel, of course, is dedicated to news and commentary for the Washington Commanders. So if you're down with that, please make sure that you have subscribed to this channel. When you do, also make sure you hit that notification bell so you won't miss any other video releases. So are the Commanders and Adam Peters cooking? Are they cooking? Because they have signed yet some more depth to the defense, and especially in regards to the linebacker core. So it was stated that today the Commanders is official. They have signed linebacker Nick Bellero. I am so horrible with these names. He is a former Seahawk, and he is actually a former Pro Bowler. He first went to the Pro Bowl in 2020, and then later on this past year in 23. So he still has a whole lot to give on the field, but he's a 35-year-old player. So he's not necessarily someone who's going to be the future of the team, but yet a solid backup. Now he's being signed to the practice squad, but I have the feeling that he's probably going to get elevated to the 53-man roster. Now, why do I say that? Well, he's also a very dependable, very solid special teams player. And as you know, special teams can be make or break of your team. And so if we're able to get someone that's up there with the likes of Jeremy Reeves, a special teams ace, then by all means, special teams is very important, but also having excellent linebacker depth. The last year and the year before that, we suffered at linebacker. I think when we got rid of Cole Holcomb, which I was so surprised to get rid of Holcomb, I felt that Holcomb was a very solid player for the Washington Commanders, and yet Ron Rivera got rid of him. And after that, I felt like, you just didn't have anything in that linebacker position outside of Jamin Davis, who obviously struggled at linebacker. So now there's such a stark contrast to that defensive middle there. And Bobby Wagner, Frank Louvu, guys like that, now signing Nick Bellero, we really hope that we're going to have a good solid defense. Now, of course, like I said, he's going to be signed to the special teams, or the practice squad will probably really contribute mostly with special teams. As it says, the Commanders ranked 26 in special teams last season, leaving plenty of room for improvement in 2024. New head coach Dan Quinn will oversee Washington's rebuilding efforts in a number of capacities, and expectations for defensive turnaround in particular are in place given the nature of the team's off season. So of course, there's high expectations, high hopes for the Washington Commanders defense overall, especially at the linebacker position, the defensive front, and we're going to see how well that we have improved in the secondary, which is a really sore spot for the Washington Commanders defense. And so overall, I think this is a great move for the Washington Commanders, being able to continue to add some quality depth, some quality players, Pro Bowl players. Come on. Is really is not just signing guys that it's warm bodies to throw on the practice squad, but it's valuable players who can come in and contribute if they have to. And so this is quality. This is unlike what you've seen in years past, where it's we sign these guys, Nothing necessarily special about these guys, but we need it depth at that position, and so that's what we're getting. Adam Peters is looking for quality. He's looking for players who can play some football, who can contribute to the team, even if it is just a practice squad signing, even if all that he winds up doing, and I hate to sound like this is a negative, but you know, contributing with special teams. A lot of people, I know that they tend to look at special teams as an afterthought. But as I just said before, special teams can really make or break your team a lot of times. It could really be the difference between going to the playoffs and sitting home during the playoffs. So for the Commanders to be able to pick a guy like this is excellent. And I think just as much as that they were able to choose a good quality receiver in Noah Brown, yeah, it wasn't Brandon Aku, but in retrospect, this is a guy who's going to be able to come in and contribute right away. He's a high quality guy who he had over 550 yards receiving in his first 2 seasons, and so being able to bring in guys like that, it's kind of reminiscent. I'm not going to put Adam Peters up there with Bobby Beathard as of yet, but it does remind me of how Bobby Beathard would come, and his really what separated Bobby Beathard from a lot of general managers is the fact that he was able to come in and find diamonds and rough guys who were like latter round picks or undrafted or just kind of throwaways from other teams, and he was able to bring them in and really squeeze out all the talent you could possibly get out of these players. And these players really found a home in Washington and really succeeded in Washington. So we're hoping that in this modern day, this present day with Adam Peters and company, that he'll be able to do the same thing. Oftentimes we say it's a lot easier, or honestly, it is almost no brainer to be able to find the talent that you need in the first couple of rounds in the draft. But to be able to find those guys who are cast off from other teams, guys who are still playing at high quality, high caliber level, even when they're in their twilight of their careers, those are the guys that you want on your team. Now, yes, ultimately you want young guys who are going to be the future of your team, but there's kind of a mix, right? You got to be able to find the right mix to really be able to succeed. And I think we're seeing this out of Adam Peters, and we're going to continue to see this, hopefully, out of the Washington Commanders. Well, that said, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. With that said, we will give you another video soon, but give us, please, a like, a share. Let us know what you think about the signing. With that said, we'll see you in the next one. Take care.